you notice that finances has become really easy. I mean, securing a finance.
Hmm.
You have your credit cards, you have the easy loans and everything. So here is the important thing where affordability comes. I mean, I can, based on my income eligibility, I can get a loan of suppose 500,000 dirhams.
Hmm.
But then I need to look about it. Do I be able to pay it in the long run? Do I have the sufficient backup? Or I'm just having a only relying on my salary. What if it hampers someday?
Hmm.
Then what I'll be doing? So it has to be an affordability.
Hmm.
Is a very important thing which Rishi mentioned.
Kasim and Rishi, both of you, how do you see short term versus long term? Because what you mentioned, Kasim, people are thinking about debt without taking responsibility of it or without any backup. I need credit card. I need short term loan. So many people would be out there and they don't have any backing. First, how they can create a backup for the loan? You can take loan for any emergencies. And second, is it good to have a loan? Can you use your backup instead of taking a loan if you have something?
I think I'll say this, right. We need to understand who we're dealing with here. If we're saying the person doesn't understand the concept of affordability, there is no way they're going to understand the concept of credit. Give someone 20,000 dirhams as a limit and they'll go spend it all. And they don't even have 5,000 dirhams in their bank account, right? And that's what makes it very dangerous, is to take credit when you really don't understand it, right? And you're right, and what Kasim said as well is also right, that it's very easy to get credit here in Dubai. And here is what happens, right? Today, we're trying to talk about how someone can save and eventually build wealth. But when credit comes into the picture, it's a double edged sword.
Mm.
And now it's not about working your way up, it pushes you down into this pit hole where you're in a debt trap if you use it wrong even once, right? And all it takes is one mistake. And I remember you and me, we were having this conversation the other day about credit altogether, where you said we need to be mindful about who gets credit,
Mm.
and the people need to understand how credit is used, right? And let's just talk about credit cards because they're the most popular financial product out there, right?
Just adding one thing,
Yeah,
most of the people opening their account with several banks just because they will get credit card
right.
while they open the account.
No, but what is credit, right? That's what they don't understand.
Hmm.
They feel credit card gives them purchasing power,
Hmm.
right? They feel credit card allows them to afford things that they actually can't. And that is a negative impact on their numbers.
Hmm.
Now, I'm no longer saving money. I, in fact, owe money to the bank, right? I've worked my way backwards. I'm not building wealth.
You increase the expenses.
100.
Hmm.
So, beyond expenses, I
Hmm.
am spending money that I don't have. How am I going to pay back the bank? And I haven't even started talking about the interest that starts piling up. It eventually leads to a place where you can't pay the money that you owe to the bank.
But I remember, Rishi, when we were talking about it,
Hmm.
you were strongly favoring having the credit card just because of the cashbacks. Like you can get the cashback, you can get the
Now,
discounts, so many things.
that is
And
interesting because, and one of the reasons why I'm
hmm.
doing this conversation with you is credit is, like I said, a double edged sword,
Hmm.
right? If you don't know what credit is and how it works, you're going to fail miserably. But if you know how to use it, you can end up saving more money in each one of your spends if you're smart about it, right? If you're paying on time, if you know which credit cards to get, if you know what your limit is and how much should you actually be spending, right? So a person who is already very thoughtful about their finances, who's doing budgeting, who's doing tracking, and they're spending money, they know what they're doing. Instead of paying by cash, if they were to pay by a credit card, they'd end up saving money. That's where credit comes in, right? Credit card shouldn't allow you to go and make impulse purchases. Unfortunately, that is the business model of credit cards. That's what they want you to do. When they give you money, free money in your hands and say, go spend it, they want you to get into the debt trap, right? That's how they make money.
Rishi, I will make it simple. Should a person have credit card with 5,000 salary?
I think that's a very black and white question. It depends. Let us say this 5,000 dirham earning person who
Hmm.
has reached Dubai has now a hold of their finances, right? They're able to save 1,000 dirhams. They know where they're spending their money. They have a proper budget of everything. And they know they spend this much in groceries, they spend this much in rent, and they spend this much in transport, right? And if they can make the same spend using credit cards, they'll end up saving a lot more. So, yeah, I think they deserve it as long as they know how to use it.
I know you have a very strong discipline, Rishi, in terms of managing your own finances. But majority of the people, they are driven by the consumer mindset. They take credit card to enjoy some more luxuries. We all know that.
Correct.
So that is why I believe the people who have 5,000 salary or below that, they cannot afford it because it will eventually add up a lot of expenses and they will be closer to a default. And most of the banks, probably we can have them and we can look at the history. The people with the low threshold, they are not able to pay back. So that was my logic. Like they should not have it.
I think if you're saying that they should not get credit cards, I'm saying it depends. I'll put it in a very simple manner.
Hmm.
You can use a knife to cut vegetables and make the greatest dish that tastes amazing, or you can use it to hurt someone. It depends if you know how to use the knife. That's all. So it's an education and enablement problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I agree with you that the
Hmm.
reality is that the business model and the product in itself wants you to spend money that you don't have. But if the consumer is smart, they'll be on the positive end of it.
But Rishi, education is important. People can do best if they have discipline. They can be educated. Awareness has to be created. But how many people can take that education seriously? Can Will education be able to change their behavior?
I think those are all questions that I can't answer
Hmm.
because it's a full blanketed question.
Hmm.
What I would be curious about is because Kasim here is a CA, he's
Hmm.
probably looked at a lot of people's bank statements.
Hmm.
So he would know where people are spending and if they're paying their credit card. So I'm curious to hear about that.
Yes, I have seen a lot of bank statements. I have seen a lot of finances of the persons. But I have a mixed experience. I have those clients who have a wonderful financial discipline. They are taking the credit card just to have the benefit of the cashbacks, like the Rishi said.
Hmm.
So they are very much only the disciplined persons will take the credit card for the benefit of cashbacks.
Hmm. Hmm.
Undisciplined ones will take it for the benefit of the limits. So
It will drive them
it
further.
will drive you
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
overspending and to the luxurious spending.
But you've
Hmm.
probably seen both,
I
right?
have seen both type of cases in my career. There
So
are people who end up taking loans to pay the loans,
Hmm.
and it is a debt trap.
They are
They are
taking
taking
loans to
loans
pay
to
off the
repay the
loans.
loans. So
That's
what happens that once the cat is behind the rat, but at
hmm.
the end of the game,
It's like
the
a
rat is
spiral.
behind the cat.
Like
So this is how it
hmm.
happens, and they just end up a very pathetic situation.
Hmm.
In a very pathetic situation, what happens at the end of the day, every banker is calling you and
Hmm.
harassing you
Hmm.
for the recovery, and it
Yeah.
is very much mental pain and harassment.
but I think this is true globally, right?
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
just for Dubai.
Yes, this is true globally.
The advantage in Dubai, I will say this, is it's a very early market
Hmm.
for financial products, right? Uh, in India, back home, we have something called the CIBIL score, which measures the credit worthiness of a person. Only on that basis are you offered a credit card. Here in Dubai, that same score was, I think, just recently launched in the last 1 or 2 years, right? And it hasn't even matured yet, which is why we're saying even a 5,000 dirham person can get a credit card,
Hmm.
right? So that is where it stands. So maybe the market also needs to mature. But in that sense, anyone can make a mess of a credit card irrespective of where they are. Dubai happens to be at an advantage because it's an early market. You're getting really good offers on credit cards. Where can you save 8 to 10% on your net expenses? There's not a lot of credit cards that do offer that, right? On average, I can save 5% if I use a multitude of credit cards and say this is for travel, this is for groceries, and this is for transport.
I have like how much are you saving at the moment, Rishi? And how many credit cards you have at the moment?
I have a bunch of credit cards.
Hmm.
On net average, I'm saving about anywhere from 8 to 15%
Hmm.
across all types of spends in different categories using my credit cards. Right. I
That's
will also share that I happen to save 85% of what I earn overall. So my net expenses total in hand is 15%, and I don't have to count taxes because I don't pay any, right? That happens to be the advantage of what Dubai has to offer, which is why I wanted to have this conversation with you when you talked about this is you can build
hmm.
wealth or work towards building wealth in Dubai if you play your cards right.
Dubai is a good place. Like it, there's no income tax. It's completely healthy for you to take back all of your money, whatever you are earning, either on business or salary. It's definitely a very good place to start with and begin with. Coming to you, Rishi, you talked about saving through credit cards. So we end up having this conversation like you should have a good credit score, and if you have a good credit score, meaning you are a responsible citizen, or you will be paying back. So I'm curious to know how this credit score is being measured. What is the way how it is being measured?
I think it depends, honestly. I don't know about how Dubai does it, but it depends on how much of your limit do you use
Hmm.
back in India, how much do you pay back, and how often do you pay back, and do you pay back the full amount. So there are some metrics that are associated with it. There are some best practices towards using a credit card.
So you are saying if
Mhm,
I need a loan or anything from
mhm,
the
correct.
bank will not ask me about my bank statement to give me the loan, but they will look at my credit score and they will
So
give me the
think
money.
about it this way, right? You get in the door starting to have a conversation if you have a credit score. They won't even entertain a conversation with you if you don't have a proper credit score,
Hmm.
right? What you're talking about is additional validation on this is my bank statement, this is my guarantor, and things like that. If you want a loan today back home in India, the first thing they're going to look at is credit score. And if your credit score is good enough, they're not going to ask for anything else.
I would delve deeper into credit score thing, and I think I'm an idea is coming to me. Like just we are talking about credit score, like irrespective of the threshold, like you have 5,000 or 50,000, your credit score might be the reflection of your behavior, consumer behavior.
Correct.
Are
Indeed.
Right.
you able to give
Indeed.
back irrespective how good your bank statement is? Maybe in the future this could be a possibility. Like uh, they will look at the credit score, they will tell about your
I
behavior,
think
and they
that's
will
how
say,
it works.
yeah,
And you're 100% right. You
yeah,
don't have to earn more to have a better credit score.
yeah.
Even if you have a very simple credit card for just 5,000 dirhams and you're spending only 200 dirhams every month, but you're paying it back on time every month without any interest, right? And you're using it in the right way, you'll
Technically
have a
this
good
is the
credit score.
bank need or any credit institution need, like a guarantee like you will pay back.
They're
This
just
is,
testing user
yeah,
consumer
yeah,
behavior, right? Like
yeah.
they feel this person can pay.
Hmm. That's, I think future is like that. This is what I see.
Also, on top of credit, I think one topic that we should touch on is, let us say now this person has come to Dubai,
Hmm.
right? They have started saving money. They have also become disciplined and they're saving more with credit cards. Now, what do they do with this pile of cash that they
Hmm.
have saved, right?